Hello, everyone. Welcome to Durret's Take. Now it's time for me to go over my bracket predictions in the Midwest region. So let's get started with number 1 seed Houston versus 16 seed SIU Edwardsville. Congrats to SIU Edwardsville for making the tournament for the first time ever, but the trip won't be a pleasant one. Houston wins easily. Next, we got 8 seed Gonzaga versus 9 seed Georgia. Georgia has some young talent that are pretty good, and they can beat anyone in the country. After all, they beat a red hot Florida team just a few weeks ago. However, I like the Zags in this one just solely because of coaching. Mark Few in the last decade has not lost first round games, and he has the more experienced team, so I expect him to get it done. I have Gonzaga winning 67-63. Next, you got 5 seed Clemson versus 12 seed McNeese. I chose McNeese last year to get an upset, and they failed miserably. Maybe their experience from last time helps them, and they're more competitive this time around, but either way, I have the Elite Eight participant from last season in Clemson winning this game. I feel Clemson's experience from last year is a difference maker. I'm winning 72-59. Next, you got 4 seed Purdue versus 13 seed High Point. Purdue is one of those teams I just don't know what I get from them on a nightly basis, even though they bring some of the players back from last year's runner-up team, except for obviously Zach Edey. Purdue under head coach Matt Painter they're kind of a either-or team. They either made deep runs in the tournament, and when I mean deep, I mean like a Louis through 16. They made either deep runs in the tournament, or they get bounced out in the first round, inexplicably. Last time Purdue was a 4 seed, they lost to North Texas first round. Case in point. High Point has won like 14 games in a row, and they're playing inspired basketball right now. In the last 4 years, there has been one, or at least one seed, from the 13 to 16 seeds, one that gets an upset in the first round. Last year was obviously Oakland against Kentucky. I will pick High Point as that lower seed from the 13-16 seeds to get an upset this year. I have High Point winning 72-70. Next, you got 6 seed Illinois versus the winner Texas Xavier. Same reason as I mentioned for North Carolina. I would have had Xavier out of the tournament with just one quad win, but at least they're playing good basketball right now and have some better wins in North Carolina. However, with all the good wins Texas has accumulated over the last couple weeks, I'll take the Longhorns to get the win over Xavier. I think Texas going up against Illinois will be a fascinating matchup. Illinois has some hiccups early in conference play, but they have been playing better basketball lately. Since Illinois made an Elite Eight run last year, I think head coach Brett Underwood for Illinois will come up with a good game plan to get the job done against either team, and I have Illinois beating Texas 81-74. Next, you got 3 seed Kentucky versus 14 seed Troy. Mark Pope in year 1 at Kentucky has done a great job navigating not only bringing new roster, but also the injuries that has been dealt to this team all season long. Out of all the 14 seeds, I like Troy a lot because the Sun Belt was very competitive and tough this year. But I feel Kentucky will avoid the upset, and Pope can finally get his first tournament win as a head coach since he's 0-2 right now. I have him winning 73-67. Next, you got 7 seed UCLA versus 10 seed Utah State. The Bruins have risen from the ashes after having a bad year last year. There were a lot of ups and downs with it being year 1 of the Big Ten. Utah State, albeit it was an easy schedule, was great for the majority of the season. However, they're not playing their best basketball right now, and also Utah State has been like 1-4 in the previous 5 tournament games. So I'm going to go with the experienced head coach Mike Cronin to get the job done for the Bruins. I have UCLA winning 70-61. And then next, you got 2 seed Tennessee versus 15 seed Wofford. Tennessee wins easily. Now, for the second round of the Midwest, you got Houston versus Gonzaga. This is a tough second round matchup for Houston. I feel Gonzaga will remain in the fight for a while before Houston then makes a few clutch plays to win the game and goes back to the Sweet 16, either winning 63-56. Next, you got 5 seed Clemson versus 13 seed High Point. I think High Point's luck will run out here, and Clemson will make it back to the Sweet 16. I have Clemson winning 79-69. Next, you got 3 seed Kentucky versus 6 seed Illinois. There will be a lot of offense in this game. I think Kentucky's injuries will bite them at some point. I think this will be the game it happens as Illinois once again makes it to the Sweet 16. I have Illinois with the upset 87-82. And then 2 seed Tennessee versus 7 seed UCLA. Great brands there. This is a really good coaching matchup. I think Tennessee's defense will be the difference maker in this game as the Volunteers once again makes it to the Sweet 16 for 3 years in a row. I have Tennessee winning 67-60. And then for the Sweet 16 in the West, you got 1 seed Houston versus 5 seed Clemson. I think this is where Clemson's run will come to an end. I feel their offense won't be able to handle the physicality of Houston's defense. So I have the Cougars advancing 74-62. And then 2 seed Tennessee versus 6 seed Illinois. These two teams actually faced off in Champaign in Champaign, Illinois, back in December with Tennessee winning it at the buzzer. Maybe we see another close game that comes down to the wire between these two teams. I think once again Tennessee finds a way to get a win and makes it to the Elite Eight like they did last year. I think winning 76-73. And then for the Elite Eight in the West, Midwest, you got one Houston versus two Tennessee. This will be a great defensive matchup. I think if this was the Houston team of old, where they were just all defense and no offense, they would have fallen short here. However, since they have a really good offense now, or like pretty decent offense, I feel the Cougars can score just enough to get the win and make the Final Four, like they felt destined to do last year if it wasn't for injuries. I'd winning 66-62. So thank you very much for listening to my podcast today. You have a good rest of your day.